Hey everybody, it's a beautiful day out here, Southern California, zone 10B, I think. I want to show you guys some of the trees I have growing out here. So let's do a little tour. First off, here it is, the Pakistan Mulberry. I planted this in October of 2017, and there's actually a video of this on my channel when I planted it. And it was cut back to about 3 feet tall, and now it's bounced back, and it stands now at a solid 12 feet tall. Super aggressive, super vigorous grower, and a long fruiting season. So here's some fruit now. We're here in August, beginning of August, and the season started in April. So we started harvesting in April. Now about four months later, we're still getting fruit off of this Pakistan mulberry. This is a workhorse, it's a beast, and the fruit is delicious. The only downside is how aggressive and vigorous it wants to get, and I'm gonna have to start pruning it back because it blocks out the sun to the reed avocado. This is the king, the legend, the reed avocado. So the sun rises over there in the east, and then it sets over there in the west. So if I don't, and oh yeah, there's a lot of overcast here in this area. So the sun comes out usually around 11-12, and then the most powerful aggressive sun is towards the afternoon in the late evening. So if this tree gets too big, it'll block out all the sun to the reed avocado, and we won't get a lot of fruit and production like we did this year. This reed, I planted it in 2015, and actually no, 2014, and this year it has started to give a good amount of fruit. There's really fruit everywhere. These will be ready next year. And a big secret is, I haven't taken out any leaves that have fallen under the tree. I have not removed a single leaf. And that is what avocados love. They love a heavy layer of its own leaves under it, and that's how it thrives. Next to it is the Satsuma Mandarin, planted the same day as the reed actually. But this thing is just small now. It's on a standard rootstock, but I don't know why it hasn't grown big. It has nice growth flushes, good growth flush, and the flowers smell amazing. And it gives fruit pretty consistent every year, but it just wants to be small. So there's the trunk. There's the trunk. It's a pretty fat trunk, but yeah, it just wants to be small. I don't know why. Over here is the Vernon white Sapote. Excellent tree, highly productive, really rewarding. You get to see the fruits literally of your labor quickly, and you get a lot of fruit. Big production. Super satisfying tree because the season is long as well. This season goes on for a few months. So one fruit ripens, and then another fruit ripens the next week, and then 1 week later another fruit ripens, and that's pretty nice. It's not like an apricot tree where everything ripens at once and it all falls, or you harvest it all and then you gotta wait till next year. This is not like that. Good production. I was about to pull this tree out of the ground actually when I first planted it, because the first 3 months of its life it didn't do a single thing. It didn't grow, it didn't do anything, even despite me watering it consistently and taking care of it. But I'm glad I didn't pull it out, because now we get good fruit, and the fruit tastes really good. Really nice subtle flavor. It's wider than it is tall. It's about 5-6 feet tall, but it's pretty wide too. Next to it is the multi-grafted mango tree. I actually did a video of this on my channel showcasing the highlights of this tree, and this is what it looks like now. No fruit, but a lot of growth flush. A lot of very beautiful growth flush. Nice red leaves all over the tree. Mangoes have a hard time in this area because the Pacific Ocean is 2 miles that way, and we get constant relentless cold winds that blow in from the Pacific Ocean, and then you combine that with the high humidity in this area because we're so close to the ocean, and we get this powdery mildew. This stuff rots the flowers, and the tree doesn't fruit because all the flowers get rotted and they fall off. So what I've been doing is I just keep grafting different varieties onto the tree to see which ones resist powdery mildew. And some of them do, some of them don't. This is the Keat mango right here grafted. It seems to be pretty resistant, but Keat's good. I had Keat mangoes in Florida. They were good, but I think there's better varieties out there. So what I'll do is I'll graft on top of the graft. We'll see what happens. So I'll graft this branch and I'll graft that branch. Stay tuned. I'll show you guys those grafts on my channel. And here's another graft I did. I got the sandwood from my trip to Florida. I don't know the variety, I forgot, I should have labeled it, but this one seems to be pretty resistant to powdery mildew so far. Next to it here is a little mango patch I created. I planted many trees in one hole. So here, let's take a look down here. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 little seedling trees planted in one hole, and they're all Manila mangoes planted in a hole that is about 2 foot across. Sorry, I let that car pass by. So if you guys ever are worried or concerned that if you could plant many trees in one hole, it's definitely possible. If you go to any forest, you'll see big trees growing right next to each other. In fact, today I just read an article about how trees in the forest will send nutrients, water, and they will help struggling trees that have disease. Underground, they send nutrients and water to those trees through underground root systems. So trees planted close to each other help each other out instead of damage each other. Especially, the report said, especially if the trees are of the same species. So in this case, mangoes will help each other out by sending each other roots and sending each other nutrients and water through their root systems underground, which I think is amazing. It's pretty cool. Over here, I planted I grafted the Namdokmai mango. I got the sandwood from Florida, and it's growing out pretty nice. Seems to be pretty resistant to powdery mildew so far. And then here's another graft I did. I don't know the variety, but it has little fruits on it. Pretty nice, interesting. Next to it, this is the most recent tree I planted. This is the Barbados Cherry, Acerola cherry. If you're from Brazil, I believe it's pronounced acerola. I hope I pronounced that right. But I had very low expectations for this, very low. I thought it gets too cold, and it doesn't get enough heat in this area for this tree to produce. But to my pleasant surprise, it has grown very well, very well. This is all new growth here. In fact, I even got some cherries off of it already. And it's only been in the ground for 2 or 3 months. Here are some flowers. There's some Barbados cherry flowers about to open up. This is a great option for this area because the true cherries don't get enough chill hours in this area to grow. So if you want like a cherry-like experience with high vitamin C content, you can plant a Barbados cherry. Good option. Over here is, I don't know what I'm gonna plant yet. I'm definitely gonna plant something. I either want to put a Jamaican cherry tree or more mango seedlings. If you guys comment in the section below, let me know what you think I should plant in this spot. This is one of the last spots in my yard, and it's one of the best spots. Gets a nice southern western exposure over there. It gets a lot of sun for most of the day. And it's a prime spot, and it's one of my last spots, so I need to make it count. Let me know in the comment section what you think I should plant. Over here, this is the Subel white Sapote. I've done a lot of videos, I've done a few videos on my channel for showcasing the Subel, but this is what it looks like now. I planted it in 2013, and this is another highly productive, super rewarding super satisfying fruit tree that it gives a lot of fruit all year round. Look at that. Nice fruit. Let's go down here. I mean, there's clusters really all over the place. And the cool thing is you see fruit there and you see flowers. So the season basically never ends. We get fruit all year round. And I love that. I mean you can plant like a peach or apricot. I have nothing against peach or apricot, but really with those kind of fruits, the season comes once a year. All the fruit is ready. You got to pick it all at once, basically over the course of 1 month, and then the season ends, and then you have to wait till next year. But I mean, if you want something that you could just get fruits year round, this is a great choice. Oh, and another plus for this is I've taken it off my water cycle, meaning I don't water the tree. I just let the rainwater take care of it. And this definitely, I'm sure it has hit the groundwater. The roots have reached the groundwater because I stopped watering it in 2017, and that was a year where our winter here was unusually warm. If you guys are in Southern California, you'll remember that winter where it was hot. It was 100 degrees and up in October. So, and that was the year where this tree really started taking off. So it's a super tough, super reliable, drought tolerant tree. Fantastic. And it makes a lot of fruit. There's a trunk. There's a fat trunk. It's like at least 8 inches around. Let's walk over here. This is a sour orange. I don't know the variety. The seed came from Afghanistan. Don't ask me how the seed came into our possession, but we planted it, the tree grew out, and this is what we see now. This is like 10 years old, and last year made so many sour oranges that we didn't know what to do with it. We gave a lot away to neighbors and family, and I think there's still some in the tree actually right now, but it looks like it's taking this year off because last year production was crazy, unbelievable. Over here is the Lbroccocherimoya. I did a video of me planting this tree. It's on my channel. You guys can check it out if you'd like. But since I planted it, I did a graft right here. I grafted on the Fino de Hete Cherimoya variety. Shout out to Margaret. Margaret, thank you for the scion wood. I really appreciate it because now I have 2 varieties on this tree, and it's a beautiful Fino de Hete graft is taken off. I'm really excited about how this tree performs. When I planted it, all the leaves had fallen off. They turned yellow and they fell off, and now they've come back with a vengeance. Nice growth up all around. Next to it is probably the oldest tree in our yard. This is the improved Meyer lemon. It's about 7 feet tall. It's never gotten really big, but it's always a consistent producer of lemons that have a lot of juice in them. Very, very, very juicy lemons. Very good. Nothing like any supermarket lemons. This has a lot of water. Let's walk over here. Have some mango trees in pots. Here is the Lbroccocherimoya tree. I've also done a video of this. It's on my channel. This is the tree that's about 3 feet tall that makes quite a bit of fruit. Let me show you guys here. Big avocados, bigger than the store-bought Hass avocados, on a tiny tree that is 8 years old. Believe it or not, this tree is 8 years old in the ground. I planted it in 2011, and it just wants to be small. And here I grafted the Hass avocado onto it, right there, and the rest is the Lbroccocherimoya. Now over here is the jackfruit planted from seed. So I ate this delicious jackfruit from the supermarket. I loved it. I loved it so much I planted the seeds, and here is, the trees grew out, and then I planted these in the ground in January of 2018. So this is a tropical subtropical tree. I planted it in the winter, so it has survived 2 winters. I'm really excited because here is marginal jackfruit country. This is not ideal climate for jackfruits. I mean, if you're from India or Philippines, you're probably laughing because you guys throw a seed, jackfruit seed in the ground, and you come back in about 6 months and it's a giant tree. But here, this is a big deal because this is not very common in this area, and jackfruit is becoming very popular amongst the vegan community and people who are looking for meat alternatives. Jackfruit is becoming that meat alternative. It has in the unripe stage, has the texture of meat. So if you live in Southern California, plant your jackfruit trees now. You have your meat alternative. In a few years, you'll be harvesting jackfruits and having vegan food for you. Over here is a mango. My friend gave it to me. It's grafted. It's an Indian variety. I don't know. He doesn't know the variety. He knows it's either Langra, Chaunza, or Desheri. I think that's pronounced Desheri or Deseri. And so yeah, it's one of those 3. Over here is sugarcane. I planted this in 2018. It was about a foot tall. Now it stands. Now this thing's another beast that's taken over. Look at that thing. That's like 12 feet tall. It's almost as tall as a persimmon tree, which is like 18, 20 feet tall. This thing is crazy. Amazing. I'll be harvesting this in the end of this year because I've heard that the cold weather makes sugarcane sweeter. So I'll be testing that theory or that belief in a few months. We'll see what happens. Here's persimmon, one of the oldest trees in the yard. Persimmon tree. This is the Fuyu persimmon, and I did some grafts onto it. Oh, here's a graft. I grafted on the chocolate persimmon variety. It doesn't have any fruit. I don't see any fruits on here. And let's see, I did some grafts up there of the Hachia persimmon, and I believe it does have fruit. I don't know if you can see that. Over here, let's see, plumeria, kale, Cape gooseberry. This is the Cape gooseberry, tomato relative. It's supposed to be very good. Planted this a few days ago actually. And then over here, the rest is a tomato patch with many different varieties of tomatoes. Most of them heirloom. I don't know which varieties they are, but we got a lot of tomatoes this year. This is actually towards the end of the season, but we got quite a few tomatoes here. Looking nice. Pinkerton avocado. I planted it in June 2018. I keep saying this, but again, there's a video of this on my channel. You guys can check it out. Now let's look at that amazing growth flush right there. Very nice. Over there next to it is the Satsuma Mandarin, planted in 2013. Stands about 6-7 feet tall. We get good amount of fruit every year, and I tried some grafts onto it, but they didn't take. Over here is a pumpkin patch. It's taken over. My mom planted a seed, and it used to be just there, now it's all over. Look at that. Fast growth, really good too. This is the Glen Mango. This is its 4th year here in the ground. No fruit, but beautiful growth. Glen is one of those varieties that do really well for us here in this area. I highly recommend it. I haven't had the fruit yet, but I hear it's amazing. And yeah, it's a great variety. What I do is I collect a lot of scion wood from this tree and I graft it onto other trees. Because Glen, if you guys could see here, no powdery mildew, and that is a big deal here in this area. Over here is the Algerian clementine, which did not do really well. So I've cut it back and I've started to graft. Like you see here, here's some citrus grafts. This is the improved Meyer lemon that I got from the tree over there. And looks good. The graft is taken. Oh guys, look, you see this? This is rootstock growth. You don't want this. When you do grafts, you don't want this roots. This is the tree putting energy towards the rootstock and not putting energy towards the graft. So what I do, I come in and I just take this all out. I want the energy of the tree, the nutrients, to go towards the graft and not towards the plant, not towards the rootstock. So that's something you guys can look out for when you're trying grafting. Periodically come out and check your grafts, and if you see that kind of growth, take it out. This graft is taken, so is that, I think. All right, let's walk over here. Let's walking. Suriname cherry, seedling, blueberry. A lot of different assortment of succulents. A lot of different succulents. More tomatoes. These are second years from seeds. My mom collected seeds from last year's tomatoes, planted them, and this is what has emerged. She saved. We're doing like a little seedling project here. Beautiful, beautiful production out here. All right. Over here is the first one. This is Subel white sapote seedling. Look how big they get. This is like 6 feet tall over the course of a month. No, not a month, sorry. 6 months. It grew that much. Aggressive seedling. Anyone who wants it, you guys can come have it. You just have to come dig it out of the ground. This is a peach seedling. Someone threw a peach pit. And look what has emerged. This is my compost bin. I'll show you what's going on in the compost bin. You could throw all sorts of organic matter in there and the worms will take over and process it. So we throw this back into the soil. Pomegranate tree, planted, let's see, 10 years ago. I don't know the variety, but the fruit is great. It has a nice, sweet, sour balance of flavors. Very, very delicious. I love it. I think it comes from a seedling or a cutting, but I don't know the variety, unfortunately, but it's very good. Good production too. Alright everybody, that's my yard. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. As always, give me a like, subscribe if you like, if you wish, and have a beautiful day. Thank you.